Welcome to my fantasy football podcast, y'all. It's your boy Cozmo. I'm super excited to have you if you're watching. Getting into week 4 of the NFL season, recapping week 3. Man, I am just so blown away by what happened this weekend. There's so many games that we need to get into and talk about. Um, we talked about the Thursday game a little bit right before it was supposed to happen, and I said I wasn't going to do a recap unless it was a close game. And some people might say it was a close game, but I don't think so, man. The Dolphins really they were just trailing behind. They had some good offensive production, which looks good for them. However, just as a whole team, they just weren't keeping up with the Bills. The Bills were just steamrolling them on offense. James Cook was just cooking, like they say, let everybody eat, let everybody cook up there. They love that in the Bills territory. Um, Man, Falcons, Panthers. This one was a disappointing one. Man, all these Sunday games were just crazy, man. I feel like some of these were just like heartbreakers. If you are a Falcons fan, or if you had them in a lot of money lines, like this guy right here, you just got blown away. Because I mean, they didn't cover the money line, they didn't cover a spread. I mean, this is just awful by the Falcons to not even score a point. Come on, guys, that's just pitiful. Over here, Packers Browns, man, defensive clinic. I love to see it. Packers are a young team, man. I think I kind of realized that on Sunday because they didn't look as good as they have, and they played a really good defense, and that goes to show you that you got to have a complete game on both sides of the ball. You can't just have a good defense like the Packers do and kill teams and then score on offense. You got to be able to score too. Jordan Love struggled. I mean, obviously they're struggling in their wide receiver room. They always have, but Jordan Love's got to get the ball out of his hands and maybe move around a little bit. That might help them. Texans, man, I have down here. Texans are my favorite 0-3 team. That sounds crazy, but they look good. This was a great game by Trevor Lawrence. He was just slinging the ball. I like the way he moves it around. Great guy out there. But the Texans got to figure out some offensive way to go. And other than that, great defensive games here. Speaking of defensive games and special teams, man, nine. What? 9 defensive and special teams touchdowns this weekend. That's kind of crazy. Just takeaways after takeaways, man. I love to see it. There was a guy for the Vikings coming over here to this next game. Crazy game. I thought Bengals were going to take it. No, we got the Carson Wentz experience and we got the Robinson experience. This guy coming off the defense, he took 2 touchdowns back on defense, man. He got 2 touchdowns on defense. Good for him as a safety and being kind of unranked and not really being out there. I like to see that for some guys. That means they're just playing good team football and he's in the right spot. Over here, Rams Eagles. Man, the Rams. Look at this win probability right here. They really had it. They were up to about a 91% chance to win right after halftime. They even came back up to an 87% when they were up 26-21. But boy, them Eagles, boy, they just put it on you, don't they? I like what they're doing out there. Obviously, they're having some offensive struggles. They just can't seem to really put it together when they need to. Saquon didn't look amazing. But other than that, Jalen did his thing. And the tush push did its thing too. I am absolutely still tired of the false starts. I've been watching the right guard, and I feel like he's false starting on just regular snaps too. When he's getting set in his stance, he's putting his hand on the center when guys are in motion and he's moving. And I just don't understand how they're allowed to twitch and move. But if any other team does it, it's a penalty. Kind of blows me away. And in the last 2 games, the NFL has came out after and said that they've missed calls. So someone's got to fix this. But that's always been an issue. Refs are always a thing. I remember thinking about the Patriots in the exact same situations, kind of. Those guys got every call, and if they didn't get every call, they weren't getting the call because they were going to get the touchdown. Um, Man. But over here, man, Colts on fire. I love the Colts right now. Danny Dimes, or Indiana Jones, as people are calling him. But I like Danny Dimes, man. He's dishing it out there, makes him look good. Jonathan Taylor is just running the shit out of the football. he is just poaching it down everybody's throat. I love that offense. They look really good. Defense is also coming together. They even had an interception taken back too. So go Colts D too. Hey, just a little reference there. Right here, Bucks Jets. Man, the Bucks almost sold this game. Man, you can't sell these games to Tyrod Taylor and the Jets. Man, you got a backup quarterback on the Jets coming in. Buccaneers are playing way too many close games. They remind me of the Chiefs last year. Like they can't really play above any teams. They just have to play with everyone. Next week we have Bucks versus Eagles. That'll be a very good game, but I don't think Bucks will take it. I would take Eagles to cover all day here. Hopping down, Broncos Chargers. Love this divisional rival game. Very nice here. Chargers take it home. They're doing their thing right now. They look like a great team against a great defense. Not much else I can say about these guys. Bo Nix did his thing. Cortland Sutton had a great game. They were finding their connection there. But defense on the Broncos, if they could just be a little bit better, slow down a couple of those passing lanes. It's really hard though because Herbert's his ball just comes out so fast, and he's a big cat too. You don't really want to be in his way. Cowboys Bears, man, this game's hilarious. I think the Cowboys are just doing cowboy things, man. They're in a bad situation right now with CD being hurt. They're not looking very favorable going out for here on. Chiefs Giants, man. I love my Chiefs, but they gotta win by a little more than this. They looked good at halftime or after halftime, but man, before halftime, it was the same thing a couple weeks ago. Um, Especially like in the box score, man. Yeah, these guys were 6-0, 6-3, 6-6 before halftime. Um, And then, tonight, man, this was a thriller. I was so excited about this. I had my money on the Lions, man. I'm so excited they took it. Ravens were banged up on defense, so don't act like this is the best Ravens team you'll see this year, because they obviously got exposed on the defensive side. But also, man, Derrick Henry, what the shit, dude? Hold on to the ball, man. Two fumbles in the last two games against two very good opponents, and you just blow it, man. Kind of embarrassing if you ask me. Um, Detroit Lions, they're a great football team. They're putting it together. Dan Campbell, man, I feel like this is the NFC Championship, possibly the team going to the Super Bowl. I feel like these guys can really take on the Eagles. This is going to be a really exciting matchup when they do play each other, um, which is going to be in Week 11. That'll be really fun at Eagles. Um, I'm really excited for that game. That'll be a great week. Um, right before Thanksgiving too. That's when the good football starts. Other than that, man, not too much exciting things happened this weekend. I mean, Cardinals 49ers was a good game right up to the end. The 49ers just always find a way to take it home. Shanahan's offense is just one of a kind. That coaching tree is just amazing. They know how to put an offense together. They know how to just throw guys in there. Look at the guy running the offense. You got Mac Jones at quarterback. Um, but man, coming over here talking about all these disappointing games, we got to come to my picks. There's a reason I didn't start here, people. 6 out of 16, man, pitiful. Um, Obviously, I didn't hit the Bills. I feel like they could have covered there, but that's a big spread. There's like a 16 and a half point spread sometime this weekend. So I'm going to be really on the lookout for this weekend. My Thursday picks are going to be studied, and I'm really shooting for like 10 to 12. 6 is pitiful. I'm 22 out of 48 on the year. So I'm falling under 50%, which I feel like is just not ideal at all. So I'm really shooting for making about 10 to 12 correct picks this week, and I'm really going to do my homework and study these guys. Didn't cover this one at all. What a blowout. Yep, like we talked about, Packers didn't even win. Texans here, man. I felt like they would have been the better team, but it did just come down to a score. Such a close game. Man, Bengals let me down. I don't know what I'm going to do with Jamar Chase because it feels like they're just not really getting them the ball out there. But we'll see, man. It's not going to come in 1 week, especially when, Joe Burrow's just such a big part of that team. Steelers, so glad I hit that one. I knew they beat the Patriots. Patriots, good team, not a great team. Steelers, great team, great coaching staff, veterans all around. And the defense was just getting after them, man. I mean, they had like 5 fumbles for the Patriots. You can't do that, man, if you want to win a football game. Rams, I feel like they had them, man. I'm not mad at this, but I got it wrong. Right here, man, Bucks got to be better against the Jets. Come on, 0-3 Jets. You can beat them by a couple more than two. Colts, they're going to be a clean cover for a couple weeks. That'll be some really good games coming up with them. But Colts Titans took that one. Commanders, love that. I hate the Raiders. Chargers, boom, bada bing. Saints, putting too much faith in them as always. That's my NFC boys. Um, Bears, took the Bears on this one. I knew it'd be a close one, but I did not think that this would happen. So I'm glad I took the Bears, though. Kind of one of my sleeper picks I talked about, but we got the Bears there. 49ers, man, I'm kind of pissed at this. They did win by one, so they're not going to cover unless it was by a half point. So not too mad about that one. And then I chose the Giants to cover here because I thought the Chiefs were going to play them a lot closer like they usually do. And they did till halftime. They were just kicking field goals and missing field goals. Harrison Butker, you look like shite. Um, and here we are. Chiefs cover. I like that, though. It's a good day when the Chiefs cover. Hit a little bit of the money line there, too. And then Lions, you see it here, folks. I had the plus 5.5. I was hefty on the win, too. I like that. Man, hopping over to fantasy. Woo! Do I got news for y'all? 2 weeks in a row, 4-0. Talk to your boy. Talk to your boy. In my big money league, man, we went up here against the Sharks. Good family friends here. Love these boys. But man, the boys put on a clinic as they always do. Good scores over here. Kind of a lower scoring out of the week, but it doesn't matter when that's who you're playing. Both of us scored pretty low. My bench scored a half could have scored half the points of what was up there. Coming over here, man, finished out this one very strong. I thought Jahmyr Gibbs may have came in and sniped me if he would have gotten like maybe one more touchdown because he was running the heck out of the ball. If that was his carry at the end instead of Montgomery for about 60 yards, I think that would have given him enough bonus points to beat me there. But my boy Justin, I took it from you. I'm headed to, it says 1-1 here, but I'm headed to 2-1 here. Love that. This is one of my higher money leagues. The boys did great. Rodmore Stevenson, though, I need to really fix him. I think I'm just going to drop him because the rookie over there, he might have a better production. I thought that Kenneth Walker might not produce, but Charbonnet got hurt, so he's going to go back up into the starting lineup, and we're going to start putting up a lot of points there. Falcons are going to be coming off here. And then I got Quinshon Junkins, who put up a very sizable amount in Cleveland. He looked really good running the football. Plenty of wide receivers to play with here. And then Dak's leaving the team too. Dak looks like sheep. Headed over here. Didn't play a great team, but we took a big dub. I like this. We are going to be 2-1 here as well. Score hasn't updated yet, or record hasn't updated. Coming down here, we're going to be looking at a new tight end, as well as a defensive team, and then possibly a flex too, just because I am going to be making a trade, taking Devontae Adams for Lad McConkey and Bo Nix. So I'm going to take Mac Jones off, and we're going to look for a new tight end and a new flex player as well. We do have Jackson Smith, who had a great week, but Rashad White can also go because 2 points is pitiful, my brother. Head over here, man. We'll be 3-0 in this one. Put up some massive points here. I think I was very close to being, very close to being highest scorer this year, or this week. Looks like I'm about fifth highest. Sixth highest. Not bad. Out of 18 teams, sixth highest, top 30%. I love this league. This is so fun with all these defensive players. My boy Jordan Davis on his last second field goal, block, and touchdown. How about that, man? Big guy getting a freaking touchdown. You don't see many of that, man. I love this so much. He was hauling ass. Um, Eagles, when they do stuff like that, they make me like them. I wish they did more stuff like that and less tush pushing. I feel like that's better football. Coming over here, man, got Jordan Mason, put him in the starting lineup, and he just went on a tear. Kyron had a great game too, but those extra 4 points do make a difference here. Switching out players here, I am going to be getting I'm just going to be dropping the tight end, putting some linebackers up here, and then I think I'm going to get a cornerback as well, just to have on the bench, just in case one of these bad boys gets sauced up. Other than that, man, fantasy's looking good. I'm very happy with my teams right now. Going 4-0 2 weeks in a row is really nice. Kind of confidence boosting. I know it's only week 3, a lot of football to be played. But I feel like the picks we're making with these waivers are going to very much help the teams go on to have another 4-0 week. Heading into waivers this week, man. I've got a bunch of waiver pickups that I just want you all to be aware of. Just some guys that are really out there and that I think that can do something for you this week. Starting at the quarterback position, man. Sam Darnold, Tua. I feel like both of these guys are in a similar situation. Offense has just started to click this week. And they're going to be playing some okay opponents. And so I feel like these guys can go out there, have some fun, and just kind of do their thing, man. Relax a little bit, little low stakes for them. Tua's playing the Jets, so there's some room for him there. Geno Smith looked really good this weekend, possible pickup. And if Danny Jones is out there and you need a backup quarterback, man, take him. The only reason I haven't gotten picked up someone is because, I don't like doing a bunch of ad drops in this league in case someone gets hurt randomly, because then I feel like it's time to do the ad drop. But in this league, I am going to point out that my wide receivers suck. Jamar Chase, 5 points this week, brother. Got to be better than that. But I got Emeka Egbuka on the bench. He's going to be moving up. I think I'm going to take out Zay Flowers and put him on the bench, and that'll be my setup for the next week. But keeping an eye on receivers, I think Keenan Allen could be a great one, or Michael Pittman Jr. Those are the guys I have my eyes on. Goodness gracious. You know what? I'm taking Keenan Allen. I'm going to add him. And I'm going to drop. Whew. That's a tough one, man. Let's say Brock Bowers, because he's been going to Trey Tucker a lot. Little sophomore slumpage. We don't need a tight end in this league. So hopefully I claim him off waivers. I am going to be last in the waivers, probably. 10th out of 10. But I do think I like him over Zay Flowers a lot. We can move Emeka Egbuka up to the starting lineup once lineups refresh. Guys I would be out on this week on quarterback. I feel like Tyrod Taylor is someone you want to stay away from. Justin Fields might come back this week. I talked about picking him up like 2 weeks ago, but you can't do nothing when someone gets a concussion, man. that kind of just throws the whole situation out the window. Um, Carson Wentz, I'd probably stay away from just because of the same thing. Like, you know, might come back from an ankle injury. Carson Wentz looked good, but they're going to be playing some tough teams. They're going to be playing Pittsburgh this next week, so that's not going to be easy for them. They really got after Drake May last week. He was their leading rusher, and Carson Wentz is not a leading rusher. Coming over here to running backs, I love a few of these guys that are up here right now. Um, if you have Dylan Sampson up there, great guy. Quinton Junkins might have taken his role, but if you're in a deep league, he's there. Kareem Hunt, great pickup. Tyler Algier, oh my goodness, this might be a great pickup. Just, they didn't have a lot of offensive output, but when they do, man, he's going to get 60% of the snaps. Blake Corum looks really good. But I will say, like with Blake Corum, Jerome Ford, guys like Miles Sanders, these guys are all like second strings, and they're all kind of in the same position. Rashad White, really, if you pick these guys up, all you're hoping for is that they're going to get a nice carry and bust it to the touchdown, or that their starter's going to get hurt. So you're kind of just gambling there, especially with like Braylon Allen, kind of the same boat there too. These guys all have starters they're playing behind, and I don't think they're going to take the role. The only guy I could possibly see taking a role out of these guys would be like, would be Kareem Hunt possibly, or Basul Tutton because he's young. And Justice Hill might get a few more touches here because Henry keeps fumbling the ball. But other than that, I feel like there's not a lot of guys, at least in this league. We'll pop over here to see if there's a couple in here. Yeah, kind of the same guys all over. These leagues aren't that deep. Oh, yeah. Yeah, so those are kind of your options when you're coming to running back right now. At wide receiver right now, Alec Amior, I have him on a couple teams. Very good pickup for Tennessee. He's playing really good. He looks really good. And he's got Cam Ward tossing him the ball, which is kind of exciting from the first round pick. And this weekend he had, 13 points, 4 receptions, a touchdown on 5 targets. That's pretty good production for a nice rookie. Other than that, man, Trey Tucker, if you can find him, get him. He's probably going to be really high on the waivers this week. But if you're low on them, I would try to snatch him up. Tyquan Thornton, obviously a good one. I'm sorting by averages over here just because I like guys that may have done a couple games and not just had one really good one. Calvin Austin was a good one. Torrey Horton out of Seattle, man, this guy phenomenal this week. He did have a punt return for a touchdown, a kick return for a touchdown. And then he also is they played New Orleans, so keep that in mind. But at the same time, dude was all over the field. He was getting the ball delivered to him, and that's part of the battle. If you're looking at wide receivers from Green Bay, Romeo Doubs, Wicks, Reed, these guys are all the same wide receiver. Don't let them fool you. There's not much differentiating them. And you can go for them, but man, I'd stay away from them just because of how spread out the room is. And Jordan Love just didn't look too sound in the pocket last week. Turpin's going to be really nice this week because CD's hurt. So I'd be on the look for Kayvon Turton if you just want a guy to pick up for a week. Dak needs to get the ball out, or they're going to keep struggling. Guys I'd stay away from. One more. Parker Washington, man. This guy's a cat. This guy's really good. Coming out of Jacksonville, he looks like the only guy that whatever his name is wants to throw to right now. But we'll take that, man. 4 receptions, 11 targets, though. That's what I struggle to look at. But the 11 targets is a lot, no matter who you are. Um, and then Ayuk, you could possibly pick him up. He should be back in a few weeks, still battling an injury. But it's sometimes nice to get those guys before they get picked up a couple weeks before. Um, Tight ends, Kate Otten. That guy right now with Mike Evans possibly being hurt, um, he could get some time. He did play 92% of the snaps, but he didn't see a single target this weekend. That's very disappointing. So if you have guys like, Hunter Henry, great points, except they don't have any offensive production last week. It's not like they played a great team. Um, Other than that, Britton Strange, that's a good guy. He was also getting a bunch of throws tossed to him. 6 receptions, 7 targets, averaging 10 yards. That's nice. Okonwo out of Tennessee. But I feel like getting too heavy on these Tennessee receivers. There's not like Cam Ward's tossing the ball everywhere. They're still struggling as an offense. So I kind of try to stay away from teams like that. Gadsden doesn't look too bad, but he's only played one game. Um, Defensive wise, Chargers, that'd be a good one this week. I feel like in a lot of leagues, they might already be picked up, but they're going to be playing New York Giants, um, which don't look great. And then I also like the Commanders at Atlanta. Um, they're picked up in this league. Let's see if they're over here. Oh, Chargers available and Commanders are available. Um, Maybe look at adding the Chargers here. Yeah, we're gonna go Chargers because they're playing the Giants. Drop the Falcons because they do not look great. Rodmore Stevenson. We're also gonna replace you. Get us a running back real quick. Actually, I'm gonna wait till my trade clears in that league to make that pick with the running back, just to make sure. I don't want to drop someone and then that be the person I wanted to drop um, for my trade because I do need to free up a roster spot. So hopping down to kickers here, I do like Patterson right out of Miami. He had a couple good kicks this weekend, and if they can produce, then he'll be a great kicker. Ricard, ooh, that's a good one for Minnesota, just because they did score a lot of points this week, and the kid's consistent. He only missed. I don't think he's missed at all this year. Um, and he scored the only points in Atlanta. So he's a good kicker. I like him, and he's consistent. Jason Myers, this guy's been around the league for a while. And if they're going to put up points, they're going to put up points. If the offensive clicking now, I like that. And Spencer Schrader for the Colts. They're going to be playing the Rams next week, so I don't know if this is a great one, just because I know this is going to be a really tough game for them. But he could be one of the only people scoring points. So keep Spencer Schrader on your radar. Maybe over on 1.5 field goals too. Um, Hop into my defensive league that has defensive players. I just want to point out a couple if you don't have them already. Peyton Wilson would be a cat to pick up. Um, I also say Cody Barton, too. I was just watching this weekend, and as a former linebacker in college, this guy's very impressive. I just like how he plays football. He did have an interception, and they're a good team, man. He had an interception 2 games ago. I was about to say, I don't think I saw that. But I was watching this game. He looked really good. I love to watch the box inside of football, just watching all those guys move around, hit each other. I think that's the most enjoyable part of football, actually, the box. People love seeing the wide receivers and whatnot, the downfield catches, but I think all the action really does happen right there. And this guy was everywhere. Just very impressive. Just watching him. That usually doesn't translate to fantasy, but Also, the same thing with like D Winters. Dude looks good. And as a biased Chiefs fan, Drew Tranquil looks great. Um, and then I watched Justin Strad. He was looking really good too against the Chargers as well. Just kind of all over, commanded the defense. But again, that doesn't translate to fantasy. But just a little NFL insight on my linebackers because I love keeping an eye out on these guys. They look really good. In Houston, man, those guys are tearing it up. Toto and Khalil Al-Shalir, man, those guys look great. I don't care what anybody says. The offense just can't score. It was kind of making me mad because these guys are everywhere. It reminds me of like Zach Cunningham, just kind of like trying to do his best to be the best defender and like having J.J. Watt with him and them not being able to do anything on the defensive side because you can't really score points. It's really hard to score points on the defensive side. But if you can do it, you can do it. We saw that this weekend. 9 defensive and special teams touchdowns, people. Hopping over here to cornerbacks and safeties. I obviously Isaiah Rodgers. That guy had 2 touchdowns this week. But that's not going to happen every week. So like guys like Drew Phillips, who are just lock up corners. Those guys are impressive. Jalen Watson, couple tackles this week. That wouldn't be a bad pickup. And then I also saw some really guys like Xavier Watts was on here. But if they're going to give up 30 and not score, I'm sure he's going to be tired and not score too many points either. But I would keep an eye on like Xavier Watts because they are playing, or they're going to be against, they already played Carolina. This next week, Atlanta plays. Falcons. Oh yeah, Falcons Commanders. That'll be a good game. But Commanders are going to take that for sure. Drew Phillips, he looks good too. But I think I'm going to pass because I do have some really good cornerbacks and safeties right now. Defensive end wise, Byron Murphy, dude was tearing it up this weekend. Watching that game, I didn't have to watch too long because they were blowing him out. But Byron Murphy, always been a great cat. And then he was just putting on a clinic the other day. What did he have? Sack, 3 total tackles. I feel like he was everywhere though. Al-Shalir Mahmoud, I think he had a couple sacks tonight. Dude did great against the Ravens. And then also Travis Robertson. That guy was having a good weekend too. Or Tavius Robertson, sorry. He had a good one. No sacks or anything, but good fantasy output production and good possibility for the year. Someone I wanted to keep an eye on for sure is Bryce Huff because Bosa tore his ACL. So someone's got to rush the passer, someone's got to get after him, and it's going to open up facets. So I'm going to give Bryce Hutt a little hope here too. And I'm going to wait to claim him just to let that trade clear as well. But yeah, man, this is freaking episode 6. Flying through the NFL season, man. I'm super excited because with my bets this week, I was a little bit over. I think I made like, what was it? $76. And then I also have $530 still wagered on like future props and like Ryder Cup and stuff that's going to be happening this weekend. World of sports is crazy, man. I played a lot of golf this weekend, and I'm super excited for the Ryder Cup to come up. But fantasy football, man, crazy, driving me nuts all weekend. A lot of my prop bets didn't hit for players. A lot of my parlays didn't hit because I had the Packers money line or I had the Atlanta covering. And I just had so much stuff that just didn't hit. But we did end up positive on the weekend. We love that. Up $72 is really good. That makes for a good weekend for me. Positivity. But other than that, man, Chiefs win. That's even better. As a Kansas City fan, you got to see your boys back rolling. doing a little stoppage on the defense, making the New York fans boo them. That makes you feel good if you're a Chiefs fan. Chiefs, man, hopping into a very tough game this weekend against the Baltimore Ravens. Um, Super excited to see what they can do with it. But I am honestly very nervous. Very, very nervous. Um, and man, with that, I'm gonna wrap this up. If you're still watching, much love to you. Good luck with your fantasy picks. I hope you're making $1 million off your bets. I hope you're hitting every parlay. Um, and I'm glad that I'm still putting this on paper and putting it out to you all. It's really helping me. I feel like this is part of the reason why I've gone 4-0 for the past 2 weeks, because I'm diving in, I'm spending the time, and I'm grinding it out. If you're with me on the journey, again, man, much love to y'all, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.